Good evening, Speed Gaming 4. Welcome to the first week of Open League playoffs for League Season 5. We've got a great match for you today. Iceman of You Got Poutine on My Cheesesteak against Hitman of Aga's Backup Dancers. Playing cross keys here because they are the wisdom pendants. I'm Drosy, and I'm here with my buddy Danny Music. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Excited to see some of these exciting Open League playoff match, and it's cross keys, which is one of my favorite modes. So down to see how it pans out.
Yeah, should be interesting. I mean, just based on the team's records, I would put your team as a bit of a favorite here.
Based on the records, for sure, but there's a lot of exciting playoff action yet to happen.
As we get started here, both doing the Link's House start. And apologies that we're going to be slightly behind. We're having some technical difficulties behind the scenes here.
It seems that both of them have opted for different starts, with Hitman doing the Houlihan opener. This gets you a lot of rupees early, also gets you to see one of the drop downs, which could have some useful items inside it. And those rupees could be useful here. So Hitman finds the Kakariko Well, which has 5 items at the Useless Ferry entrance, but probably not necessarily the one that you would want to find, because unless there are bombs in here, Hitman will have to isolate that chest that's in the back behind the cracked wall for now.
And meanwhile, Iceman has found Meyer's Shed, which is just 2 items, but one of them's a bottle of green goo. Not going to say no to that.
Yeah, this early on with 3 hearts, green mail, and potential lots of different places that will have to go, having some extra safety would be appreciated.
Yep, and also doing an early Houlihan here to make sure he has money to, buy bombs, or if he goes to Kakariko, pay the bottle vendor. And this looks like Bonk Rocks at Eastern Palace location. TR small. If TR is a crystal, we definitely need that.
Yeah, so Turtle Rock, as well as some of the other dungeons in this game, like Desert Palace, are particularly interesting because they double as connecting caves. They can link from one part of the world to another. So whenever we hear us talk about connectors, that is what we are referring to.
And different connectors have different eases of use. Like, for example, that Spec Rock connector officially is just a one-way connector, though it actually has 3 openings, and if you can hover or bomb jump across that gap, you can use it as much more of a connector.
So we see that the Sanctuary dropdown has been moved to the Lost Woods. Pretty useful starting location, gives you easy access to Kakariko Village, which has a lot of items. But Iceman is going to go check some of the chests in the back of the Skullwoods area, or the Lost Woods area first.
We should also note that the runners have pseudo boots at the moment, so they can run around, which is nice if you have to traverse a lot of connectors. They can't break walls through bonking. They can't, get items or open entrances that would be bonkable. They can't hover. Oh, and there's Ganon at Lumberjack, so AGA 1 is hard required today.
Yep, that means we will be needing 2 out of 2 Castle Tower small keys.
I.e., mini ice rods, in
Yep.
terms of what hunting for them feels like.
Yep, and we'll also need the actual boots, because we'll have to bonk into Lumberjack Tree, and pseudo boots don't actually let you do the bonking.
Unless you want to do an Armo Shake storage.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a crazy way to open Lumberjack Tree without boots. But you need Armos Knights in certain settings. I don't remember the details of the setup. No, GT Small from Uncle there.
Yep, that was at the Vanilla Sanctuary entrance. I always like to make sure that I check that one as long as I haven't found Uncle yet. And we see the Ice Rod as well, so that's part 1 of the Ice Rod hunt done. Not that we know we'll need to be Trinex yet. In the meantime, Hitman finds Hyrule Castle and is going to just check the map chest and walk out. The map chest is the only one that is in logic currently without the Hyrule Castle small key. All of the rest are locked behind that. But since Hitman did get the key from the guard in addition to the chest, he could potentially use that later.
But little does he know we can just get to the back of Escape from the Lost Woods.
Mm-hmm. So Iceman, about to find the Kakariko well, also doesn't have a bomb to open the back, so that will remain a mystery for now. We'll see if these runners decide to head back there sooner rather than later.
Either way, the sword's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, definitely want to have that early. And
Oh,
Iceman...
and thank you to Homemade Beer for the raid there.
So Iceman also hula-hanning, and Hitman didn't find anything particularly appealing at the Agina's Cave entrance. I don't believe Hitman checked to scout the Desert Ledge item, so that could potentially come into play later.
Yeah, now he's going to find the back of Escape, but we still haven't found any bombs yet on either side.
Mm-hmm. We haven't found a shop yet either, because both runners can afford bombs right now.
Well,
Hey, how about that one?
I was gonna say we had found a shop, but it wasn't a shop with bombs previously.
I feel like Iceman did see that earlier. Maybe
Oh,
Iceman didn't
was it
have
that?
bombs
Yeah,
at
maybe
the
it was
time.
that shop, and he just didn't have 50 rupees yet. So here we, in fact, go into the back of Escape. 3 checks.
Nope, the Swamp Palace rupee, and I did not see what that last thing was.
No, Hitman's stream kinda absorbed it.
Well, hopefully Iceman will be able to check it before too long. Oh man, Iceman found the shop that sells bombs and didn't want to get any. Alright, 50 rupees. You could go back into the shop now that it's effectively free. Nope.
I was just double checking. Hitman's streaming at 540, so that shouldn't be slowing him down. So I'm not sure why this is lagging a bit. Oh, and what do we have in Lumberjack? A single red cent. Actually, it was green.
But importantly, that does get him to 69 rupees, plus 300. People like that number for some reason.
It's nice.
Ooh.
Not
Bottle
often that,
merchant with a profit?
yeah, not often that bottle vendor triples your money.
Alright, well, Iceman about to find bombs.
That's for sure. He could even farm bombs in here.
In pretty good shape money-wise now with that profit from Bottle Vendor. In the meantime, Hitman is doubling back for this chest that was in the back of Kakariko Well. Small key to Ganon's Tower. Not the most essential item, especially not right now, but probably something that you would like to have.
Yeah, it's nice to have 2 small keys when you find GT. There's the Smiths not too far off from their vanilla location.
The Smith location always has to be somewhere in the light world that is not Death Mountain. And sometimes it can be very out of the way, places such as Eastern Palace, but fortunately it's just in Kakariko this time around.
Oh, and here is Pod on Hitman's side, as Iceman has found Turtle Rock. We have no Pod smalls, so Shooter is the only chest we can get. Unless we do have that bottle, we could do the bottle glitch, which it looks like Hitman might be doing.
Hitman is walking out. Oh,
Nope.
Leaving the dungeon, okay. You never know what you might want to save that green potion for later. In the meantime, Iceman, I think, got the key from the Pokey, but took a death in Turtle Rock before opening the big chest.
4 Hearts Green Mail is kind of rough for doing anything in Turtle Rock.
Yep, Iceman has not opened up Lava Chest yet, so we'll do that. Alright, that time got there. Hitman going to scout that green rupee and probably going to leave that alone.
And Iceman did all that work for Compass, but now he can go over to Chain Chomp Chest before he has to bail.
This is a dicey one. I have not always succeeded in that one. We'll see if Iceman gets it this time around. We do have bombs, ice rod, and a sword, so there are a couple options to hit that crystal switch. And very nicely done for the big key to Ganon's Tower.
Which we may or may not need. What haven't we seen for drop-downs? I guess there's still Magic Bat, right? And Useless Fairy?
I believe we haven't seen the Lost Woods drop down either?
Sounds right.
So drop downs are at most 1 item, I believe.
Hey, Chicken Hut High Five.
Oh, nope. Furious Magic is saying Bat is at Uncle.
Okay.
So it's either the Lost Woods or Useless Fairy. That is the one drop down that we haven't seen.
Yeah, that makes sense because I think the only drop downs that we haven't checked are Pyramid and Magic Bat locations. Now we have a Pod small, so that makes it interesting since we know Pod is right here. We could do things in Pod if we wanted to.
Yep, and just that one Palace of Darkness small key does put an additional 2 chests in Logic right away. Plus, then it is additionally tempting to use the potion that you have to get another 2 chests out of Logic.
As we now get a second Pod small from the chest game in the library location, so...
Oh, we found Ice Palace.
And Desert.
Wow. Simultaneous palaces being found. Hitman doesn't go through Desert immediately, going to want to finish these Kakariko checks first and probably go through it afterward.
I think we've seen at least 6 palaces already. Okay, here's Thieves' Hideout, so... that means Useless Fairy at Ganon at Pyramid, so we may not need to climb GT. It would only be for the 4 items at the top of the tower.
was gonna say, Iceman didn't even want to scout that item, but then it goes back in. Won't need those bombs. And there is a key on Race Game. Race Game is particularly interesting in cross keys. Normally, you would have to use the mirror to get there from the Dark World. There's also a potential chance that a connector leads to the left side of Race Game House, where you can actually get the item. But given that Hitman now knows that a key is there, that's probably something that he'll be interested in doing sooner than later. And we see a big key on the torch of Desert Palace on Iceman's side, so we'll need the boots in order to get that.
Yeah, one of the examples of what pseudo boots can't get you.
Oftentimes when you're running around fast in this mode, it's easy to forget that you actually, in fact, do not have the boots when you, in fact, do not have the boots. But getting to go fast in pseudos does feel good.
Oh, Iceman going north. Maybe he'll show us back of escape. That we missed the last chest from Hitman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be curious. Iceman is probably going to show us a bit of pod. We'll see if he wants to do the potion camera unlock glitch.
Yeah, and in any case, with 2 keys, I think you at least unlock the back, and then assuming you can do a hammer yump, that's even 2 more items than what you've unlocked.
Mm-hmm. So some potential lucrative plays for Iceman. We'll see what Hitman's up to. Got to be very careful as mild-mannered Bruce Wayne walking through this dangerous dark world. I believe Hitman is going to be most interested in getting the item that is on Pyramid Ledge, but there are a couple things that he can check along the way.
Yeah, freestanding items can be collected in logic. Oh, here's another entrance to desert, so we know how to get there.
Yeah, I would have been tempted to take a Death Warp off of that Beamos just to get some health back.
Oh, geez. Being chased by a murder-dactyl, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Also, health wouldn't have helped for that murder-dactyl.
Right. Oh, we find a connector, though. Could be interesting if this is like our Death Mountain access.
Ooh, at least Hitman can go back in. That is the way to the quote-unquote Dark World shopping mall, which is at Useless Ferry. And Iceman, this is a not potion camera unlock, but the mimic clip, which is a much harder trick.
Yeah, I'm surprised you decided to go this route. I mean, I realize we only have 1 bottle, but do you really need to be conserving green goo?
Mm-hmm. So in order to do the trick that Iceman is currently trying to pull off now, it requires successive inputs of 1 frame down and 1 frame right. This will clip that mimic into the wall to the point that it just disappears, and very nice job on Iceman's side getting that. That is not an easy trick, and he got that pretty quickly.
And meanwhile, Hitman south of Pod found the back of Hookshot Cave, which we can't do anything with in bunny form because you need to be able to use bombs to get anywhere. Ooh, Swamp Small. That is important if we need to get into Swamp.
Yeah, it's a pretty good find to have early on. We'll see if that ends up coming into play later, if we find things like the Flippers and Swamp Palace.
Look what's on Pyramid Ledge here.
Oh my goodness, very good find on Hitman's side.
This could be very much a hard required bunny walk. Because that mirror opens up quite a bit. And we're going to first use it to check the entrances on top of the pyramid. On top of Hyrule Castle, rather.
Yeah, mirror is one of the most important items to get in cross keys, just because it facilitates checking entrances a lot more efficiently, in addition to unlocking some entrances that you can only get this way, such as the top of Hyrule Castle.
Well, we have found Super Bunny Cave. That's 2 items and a connector. That's our 3rd GT Small. I'm a bit nervous that the game's given us 3 GT Smalls and a GT Big already. There's a Master Sword, which is a great place to find that, because now, while we're at the top of Castle Tower, we can also check the Aga Tower entrance. Oh, and speaking of which, there's our first CT Small.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't check the egg entrance yet, because that was Super Bunny Cave, which is a one-way connector.
Oh. It would
But
be a
that
long
is
bunny
still a
walk to
very-
get back there.
That is still a nice find for Hitman to have, and it is in logic, because you could just be expected to do that bunny walk into mirror sequence. So yeah, with Iceman finding that 3rd Ganon's Tower small key, plus the Ganon's Tower big key that we know about, Ganon's Tower does seem to be calling our names right now. Because of where he found it, that 3rd Ganon's Tower small key that Iceman found is locked behind 4 Palace of Darkness small keys, as well as the lamp, specifically in cross keys. So
Yes,
the
cross
alarm bells
keys.
aren't off yet.
Cross keys does not force you to do walks in the dark with the fire rod. Also, Iceman, you might want to watch your health. Those Kodongos are dangerous.
Both runners in the dark here. And we're gonna get to see what that race game key is.
Ice Small definitely helps with navigation of ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say the Swamp Small is the biggest thing we got out of Pod.
Yeah, if there's one small key that you want to find, in most cases it's the Swamp Small. The exception is if you are almost in Go mode and really don't want to have to look into Swamp Palace to find the remaining Go mode item.
And with that mirror, Hitman can do fun stuff like check the K45 entrance. Ooh, back of Skull Woods. We do not have a fire source to get to Mothula, but we can do the bridge chest. Well, now the front of escape's in logic.
Yep, we'll see. Now Hitman might want to go back and do the front of escape. In the meantime, Iceman doing the back of escape. Let's see what this item was. It was just a heart piece.
I was a bit surprised by Hitman's decision not to do the front of escape out of logic, because he knows he has access to the back.
Which dark connector is this? I think that is the Death Mountain Descent Cave.
Yeah, by
Yep.
that direction it looks like it.
So this connector is obviously out of logic without lamp, and just leads to another place that Hitman can mark off, essentially.
Yeah, one fewer use for getting real boots. So now Hitman's going to trace over Iceman's steps now that he has 2 pod smalls.
Yeah, we'll see if he wants to continue to commit to not using that potion for mimic clipping, or for potion camera unlock.
The mirror will help him get around, though, because he won't need to spend time death warping.
That's true. Alright, Alright, Iceman finds another dark cave. And a Desert Palace right, so a bunch of connectors here. Iceman's gonna go through this one. I think it might have to be the... Oh, nope. It is the back of the old man spawn cave.
And sure enough, Hitman is using that green potion, and he's just doing the camera unlock trick, which is a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So where's the front of Old Man Cave?
Alright. Left side Death Mountain, this is one of the areas that you really want to find early in Cross Keys, because there's so many things here, and
Like
any of them
Sahasala.
can be the Moon Pearl. Granted, of course, this isn't in logic right now without the lamp, but there's a decent chance there might be another connector that puts it in logic.
Flippers, anyone?
Time for a swim.
And we also learned from the sage that Ice Palace is the green pendant today.
Alright, we get to find out some more information. Our 5-6 crystals are Misery Mire and Thieves Town. Once those two crystals are collected, then that shop will sell a big red bomb. You can take that big red bomb into the pyramid, which would, in non-entrance modes, get you 2 items, but in entrance modes, it gets you an entrance, which could be better or worse than 2 items, depending on the seed.
But with the shop being where it is, we pretty much need the flute
That
to
is also
use
true.
the big red bomb.
Alright, so we have some more simultaneous dark rooms. Hitman is saving the old man from his vanilla location, funny enough. How about a Quake medallion?
Might be useful. That's a definite maybe on whether the Quake Medallion is a good find.
Yeah, it can sometimes help to defeat certain enemies, but not essential in most cases. In a non-entrance mode, you would use the Quake Medallion to potentially open up one of, or both, of either the Misery Mire or Turtle Rock entrances. In entrance modes, that is also true, except Misery Mire and Turtle Rock probably aren't there.
Okay, so Iceman's actually going to be the first one to give us a look at the front of Escape.
Yeah, we know that this is in logic already from that small key collected on Hitman's side. Though it could be potentially a long time before Iceman gets that small key.
Doing TR with blue mail is a lot nicer than doing TR with green mail when you're on low health like this.
Alright, here's Boomerang chest. Just the compass.
And now Hitman joins Iceman in having almost all the keys for GT, even though were we to get to GT, there's not too much we could really do there.
Yep, we can check 2 things and see 1 more. And that's about it.
Yeah, we can't even do the climb because we need a fire source for that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the front of escape was just junk for all that. Ooh, but Iceman's gonna show us Dark Cross.
Yep, this is another one that requires the lamp specifically. In non-entrance modes, it can also require the fire rod in place of the lamp. However, in entrance modes, due to difference in how the game is coded, this will always require the lamp. And we'll see what Iceman elects to do after this. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain trying to death warp after checking the Dark Cross room chest, but Iceman might also want to check out the rest of the Hyrule Castle connectors. Wow, that's a good find.
Yeah.
Thank you to Desert Palace.
At the moment, it only gets us 1 chest, but if we get a fire source, it does put Lanmo in logic.
Alright, so Hitman has also found Death Mountain, picked up those flippers. We haven't seen any of the flippers checks yet, surprisingly, even though Iceman did just save and quit, but we'll see where Iceman wants to go next.
And we sure have Zora money.
Oh yeah, in spades. Maybe we are going to see the flippers checks next. Nope, we're going to check Desert Palace first.
I might as well check that 1 chest. Of course, it's a bit of a long route for Iceman because he still hasn't done the bunny walk to that mirror. I don't think he even found that portal. That was a really quick map check, but I think I saw Swamp as a crystal.
Okay, so we'll need that. We have a lot of the ingredients for Swamp already, actually. Flippers and the Swamp Palace small key in particular. We'll still need the hammer, hookshot, and finding the dam before Swamp Palace is beatable.
Yeah, just to confirm, that was the number 1 crystal on Swamp. One nice thing about being a comm is if you miss it on the comm stream, you can check it a second time when it comes around on the chat stream and you know what you're looking for.
So Iceman is doing this bunny walk. This will lead him to the mirror, and he'll be very glad that he did that.
Yeah, and 6 hearts blue mail, he's a lot more likely to survive this bunny walk.
Mm-hmm. Hitman didn't really gain too much of an advantage by having the mirror slightly earlier than Iceman. Hitman has already checked the K45 entrance, got the small key to Ice Palace from Race Game, but not too much else. Iceman's gonna have to be a bit careful doing the rest of this walk, though. 2 hearts is enough that I believe it's Oko mode for all of the enemies that he's gonna come across on the way to the mirror.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the only second sword we know of is in Super Bunny Cave, which you need to mirror to the top of the castle to get to, but then having done the drop down, you can't actually use it to open the castle tower entrance.
Yep, so it could be that that something like the Moon Pearl is hiding behind the Aghanim's Tower vanilla entrance, in which case both runners are going to have to do this bunny walk again just to check that one entrance.
Yeah, we really have no idea what could be there, and yeah, that Moon Pearl would be really nice. We could use that hookshot cave connector, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else would be
also...
really nice? A fire source.
Yeah, then we could beat desert too.
Yeah.
Finding lamp would also put a lot of the plays that these runners did in logic. But Hitman here, since Hitman already has the mirror, is going to be able to check one entrance that Iceman could not, if he hasn't already. I might have missed it. The Tower of Hera Vanilla entrance.
Oh, and meanwhile we found a connector to Floating Island, so we can grab this item, which is just a compass.
Yeah, that connector was the Vanilla Spike Cave entrance.
Oh, and we are going to get to check TR Medallion here. Ether.
Alright, Iceman also going through Super Bunny Cave, gonna pick up that Master Sword. Yeah, another possible thing that these runners could find, we've seen Ice Palace already. If we find a Bombos Medallion or Fire Rod, then we can do some things, but not everything in Ice Palace.
Ooh, front of TR.
Front of TR is very nice to find early in Cross Keys, just because you get a bomb from it early, you can grind if you feel the desire to, and you'll have your magic topped off. Hitman has to be a bit careful, these Tektites are pretty dangerous. He does have blue mail, so it's not one-hit KO though.
We still haven't found an in-logic connection to Death Mountain yet, have we?
I don't believe we have. Yeah, the only other one that we found that wasn't lamp-locked was Fairy Ascension, and the other side of Fairy Ascension is inaccessible. Alright, so Iceman tracing a bit of Hitman's steps. We'll see what Hitman elects to do now.
Yeah, so Hitman becomes the first to actually use those flippers.
Ah, taking the mirror for Paradox Cave.
Yeah, that'll be a nice 7 checks.
Yep. So doing it this way relies use on the mirror to delete a block. So it's not in logic by doing it this way, but it's possible that one of the other entrances to Paradox Cave is already in logic.
Thieves Small, that's always some nice peace of mind. Our last GT Small and Bombos. Okay, so we've now found every GT key and the real boots.
Wow, that's quite a haul for Paradox Cave.
So now we can get that big key out of Desert.
That's true. And now we can dive ice.
Yay, and we just got dumped at GT. So, that entrance isn't in logic. We need to find the third entrance to see what the logic wants.
That was not the in logic one. Man, if you have... Alright, Drosy, if you have 4 small keys, the big key, and the items that you need for the Ganon Tower climb, are you going to climb as soon as you find GT?
I'm gonna full clear the basement, that's for sure. Hey, what do you know? A TR small on Laser Bridge. We've never seen that before.
Oh man. Hey, magic cape on Laser Bridge. That'd have been helpful for the rest of Laser Bridge.
And
Ooh.
hookshot in okay, and yeah, Iceman is trying to Super Bunny using the mirror here.
Yeah,
The hookshot is
I don't
not
believe Hitman
logic.
saw this one.
No. Very interesting.
So I believe we have seen both the left and the right side of Death Mountain, which means that the hookshot's biggest use at this point is for Hookshot Cave, and we've seen one of the sides of Hookshot Cave, but not the other thus far. Still, it's a nice mobility item to have. Iceman not successfully able to pull off the mirror glitch to be in to get it. I don't think ultimately having the hookshot at this point will provide that much of an advantage until Moon Pearl is found, but it would be nice to have just because getting back to this point could be a bit of a pain in the rear end.
Yeah, I was going to say, where is that hecking Moon Pearl? Oh, now
Yeah,
Hitman's going to do the front of escape.
And yeah, to clarify, in order to get that glitch to work, you would activate the Super Bunny state by mirroring at the same frame that you enter the door. And it's easy to do in some doorways and others. So Iceman finding GT sees another big key on a torch. Not able to get that yet, because Iceman doesn't have the real boots yet. But I have a feeling that this Gannis Tower is going to be very important in this seed.
You think with all those keys? But yeah, it is kind of fascinating, like, that we don't have the items to do anything, even though we have all the keys. PR map, yay.
Alright.
Guess you
So
check it
nothing-
once you get outside. Red pendant.
Nothing in the immediate use from Ganon's Tower, but we'll put a pin in that one.
And for those of you just getting here, we know that Pyramid Drop contains useless fairy, so the only reason we'd need to climb GT is for those 4 chests that are at the top.
I feel like with GT, we've accidentally activated the Simpsons meme of the actual quote is, "I have 3 kids and no money. Why can't I have no kids and 3 money?" In this case, I have 4 Ganon's Tower small keys and no items. Why can't I have no Ganon's Tower small keys and 4 items?
Also, we now have a prediction in chat, since we found all this interesting stuff in the Dark World that we can't actually get to without the Moon Pearl. Will we get a sub-hour Moon Pearl?
Oh man. I want to say I'm a believer, but I played a Cross-Key Seed yesterday and I did not get a sub-hour Moon Pearl.
Did you see her face?
Oh, I don't know the reference, I'm sorry!
Yes, I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Oh, right. Okay. I do know the reference. I just didn't put the pieces together fast enough. Anyway, Iceman is about to find all of the wild stuff that is in Paradox Cave that Hitman has already. We'll see what entrance Iceman decides to go out of after leaving this. I feel like it's going to be the same one.
Probably. But he hasn't been on the mountain with the mirror, so he'll be able to do all this stuff on the mountain, but Hitman's already done.
In the meantime, Hitman finally doing Flipper's things. This could also just be where the Moon Pearl is.
Maybe Zora. Probably Zora.
Yeah, Zora's in logic.
For all the TR smalls we've found, we still don't have the big.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we found in TR so far. Just small key on laser bridge and the magic cape. Magic cape is pretty useful in cross keys because it is our way through the bumper cave connector forwards to backwards. If you go backwards to forwards, you could also use the hookshot instead. And the use of that depends on if bumper cave is the only way of getting to certain areas. You never know.
I'm a bit surprised that Iceman finding Bombable Hut didn't claim the bombs from it. He's down to 3. And there's the bad side of Ice Rod Cave and Waterfall Fairy entrance.
It really is a bad side. You have to use a bomb for it, and it doesn't have anything. It's like strictly worse than the good side. There's
It's
no
the game-
advantage here.
The game trolling new players. There's a bottle on Zora Ledge. I don't think we're gonna go to any trouble to get that.
I didn't even see what was inside that bottle.
It wasn't goo. Or gives us a small key to desert. Wow, okay.
That's one of the good ones. So that unlocks 2 chests that are on the right side of desert. And
It
it's also
also-
required to have before beating the boss in logic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it puts Landmo in logic once we have a fire source. Well, and I guess the Moon Pearl, since the entrance to the back was in the Dark World.
True. Oh, I never knew that you could get a good B from the bad side of a Ice Rod Cave. That's interesting.
Not sure I did either. But we don't have the bug net in any case.
That good B would be the only good thing about that side of Ice Rod Cave. Is the good key good against any bosses? It makes Mothula move around.
I could shift up the music a little bit, just for variety here.
Cool. Alright, so that was a big key to Thieves Town on the Torch of Desert Palace.
Combined with Thieves Small, that puts everything in logic except for the big chest, which would need Hammer, once we find Thieves Town.
It also means that we could have the bizarre situation where Hammer could be on blind.
Yes.
Hey, there's our Moon Pearl!
So Moon Pearl behind Zora, and we've had Zora access for a while.
So Iceman coming back here to get this big key, but I don't believe Iceman's been to Zora yet.
Wait, weren't the flippers in Paradox Cave?
Oh... I don't believe so. I believe the regular shoes were in Paradox.
Oh yeah, the boots were in Paradox Cave, the flippers were early. I just wanted to make sure the flippers were actually in logic.
Flips were on Saha. Yeah, that...
Who was on Death Mountain, we still haven't found logical access to Death Mountain.
That's
Okay.
true.
Congratulations to those optimists here who got a large payout for banking on a pre-hour Moon Pearl. And Hitman's gonna feel a little silly going through Hookshot Cave and then finding the hookshot as he continues to tour the Dark World.
That's true, but he won't find the hookshot immediately, because Hitman can't cross the hammer pegs that are blocking where he is currently and the hookshot. I think Hitman's gonna go through this connector, though. So that Moon Pearl is locked by either lamp or flute at this point.
Hey, Hotel Mario!
Alright, pack it in! There is a joke that whoever finds Hotel Mario first is the winner of the game.
I think we need...
and not a prediction of the actual result.
I think we need a meme mode where talking to Mario warps you to the Triforce room.
That would be a lot of fun, honestly.
We'll meet Beers in chat. I'm sure he can get someone to work on that.
Alright, so here's another interesting thing. We're going to find out what is at the Aga Tower Vanilla entrance, now that we have the Master Sword. It's not the Moon Pearl, but it could potentially be something pretty interesting. In the meantime, Iceman is going to go to King Zora and find that Desert Palace small key. I imagine that Iceman is also going to want to check that right away. And we see it was just an empty bottle that was on
Vanilla Aga Tower. Hello there.
It was something interesting, not what I expected.
We can get both chests. Don't have the second key to finish it. We will need that second key.
I think the lamp could be here. Oh, disappointed.
Nope. Okay, so now Iceman needs to go back to Desert Palace. Oh, and he is picking up this bottle. Interesting.
Yeah, so the Moon Pearl was on the right side of Desert Palace, which Iceman now just got access to with finding that small key on King Zora.
So Zora is in fact hard required.
And I believe by extension that makes flippers more or less hard required. We haven't found a glove yet.
I should back up and say Zora is logically required. It is still possible that the desert is the third pendant, and therefore we never need to do Landmo and could have stolen the key from the back.
That's true. Flippers right now are locked behind either flute or lamp because of where the connectors ended up being.
And there is Iceman's Moon Pearl with a nice 444 rupees.
So this is an interesting juncture because we know that Iceman knows where the hookshot is. We'll see if Iceman wants to prioritize getting back to the I call it the Blue Potion Shop, the Dark World Potion Shop that is above Lake Hylia, in order to get that hookshot earlier. Iceman has also seen Ganon's Tower and knows that there is a big key on the torch, even though we still can't do much of the rest of Ganon's Tower. But right now it looks like Iceman's on the path that Hitman trod, and is gonna find Aga Tower.
Oh, except Kiki's now following him. So he could open up Pot if he wants. But that's where he came from.
He came from...
Oh yes, he came from. They're an Invitational League team.
Yeah.
Well, there's our link to Bumper Ledge, which is vanilla, but it does let us mirror it to the Light World connector.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent place for Hitman to be, too, when you have when you're checking things in the Dark World.
We have 2 checks available in Swamp now. The hammer could be there.
That's true. Because that is the dam. We also now have 1 check available in the Flute 7 spot in the sunken area.
Swamp was somewhere around CAC, right?
I believe so.
Oh, our tracker is saying Swamp is at the Flute 5 spot,
Okay.
which is
So
still easy enough
early,
to get to.
early but not CAC.
Hey, there's the potion shop at Dark Sank, Dark Chapel, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I'd have been tempted to buy a potion there, but
Oh, and Iceman is almost certainly going for the hook shot now that he has the Moon Pearl because he knows where it is.
and I like this a lot from Iceman.
On the way, we'll open up Thieves Town.
Yeah.
The brewery relocated very slightly.
Neither runner at this point checking out Skull Woods. Hitman might on his way to Village of Outcasts. Not too much incentive to check out Skull Woods either, given that we haven't found any small keys or the big key or fire rod.
There's the third Paradox Cave entrance.
Okay, so that is also Dark World. Could we have Bunny walked there? Yes,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter because
I believe so.
yeah,
Or did we need to cut away bushes to enter? I don't think we needed to cut away bushes to enter.
I don't think so either. Okay, but all the stuff that we did get there is in logic now, because, well, it's not because Moon Pearl isn't logical yet.
Hey, and Skull Woods is our third pendant, so Iceman now has full knowledge.
That's helpful to have early. All right, Drosy, how many digs for digging game? I'm gonna say 11.
18.
Not 11.
14. Just average our guesses.
Pretty solid. Big key to Swamp Palace.
Chat confirming that Paradox Cave was logically accessible by Bunny Walk.
But in order to get the items there, we would have needed logical Moon Pearl anyway. So the boots and Bombos Medallion will become in logic when we find Lamper Flute.
Skullwood, Smolky, and Skullwoods. Okay, we're in logic here.
Interesting. Oh, Furious Magic brings up a good point. Flips are in logic because you can mirror using paradox connectors to the mountain. Given that one was in Ganon's Tower entrance.
Okay, so that's our logical mountain access.
Skullwood's coming through with the goods.
And there is Iceman's hook shot. Say hammer and fire source are the big things we need to find next. So of course, we'll also need a bow. And here's Thieves Town, which, as we said, we can do everything here except the big chest.
Yeah, I would absolutely do the 7, 4, 8 in Thieves Town at this juncture.
If the hammer's on blind, do you go back in? Oh, hammer's here. Okay, we'll just do L8.
In that situation, though, hammer on blind, I think there are two ways to go about it. Either you go back in immediately, or you make it your last location. I have done both of those things in my life before, and have gotten burned by making it my last location before in my life, so I'm more inclined to just go in.
By the way, that was also 600 rupees in the front of Thieves' Town, in addition to the hammer.
And we already paid for the Zora item.
And here's Iceman, who will show us what the other 3 items in Hookshot Cave are. Burna. Pod Big. And our first glove.
That's a lot of value.
Yeah! That opens quite a bit for us. And there's Iceman's Hotel Mario %.
We did it.
But yeah, I think Hitman will get the hookshot if he just, continues on the counterclockwise routing of Dark World.
Mm-hmm. Since Hitman also has the hammer already, that means that he'll be able to do left side Ganon's tower pretty shortly after finding that hookshot. Unless, of course, he finds them in the other order, which would be unfortunate, but not too much of a setback.
He can also clear Swamp.
Yeah, that's true. Full clearing Swamp is now in logic.
Of course, he hasn't gotten the glove to lift that rock because he doesn't have the hook shot.
In the meantime, Iceman immediately gonna check out some glove lock locations. Ether Medallion in the big chest of thieves.
Yeah, but we would still need the mitts to be able to open TR.
Mm-hmm. We haven't found a way to the Mire area yet. Hype Cave on Iceman's side, we have a shovel and red mail. Not a very hype cave.
Depends what's in the dig spot.
We're gonna give Hype Cave the opportunity to redo that paper. See me after class.
Nice script so far for blind. Perfect fight.
Mm-hmm. Just the compass, so Ether Medallion and Hammer were the super valuable things in Thieves' Town. In addition to that red crystal.
Our first crystal of the game just passed the hour mark.
Alright, so I think we're gonna see these runners retrace the other one's steps for a little bit. Ooh, mini Moldorm Cave on Hitman's side. That was in the Hammerlock shop, so Iceman wasn't able to get that one yet. Half Magic's a decent prize. Fire Rod is a more than decent prize. And a Palace of Darkness small key. See if Hitman wants to double back to Skull Woods, and he does. I like this play. It'll keep Hitman away from the hookshot a little bit longer, but there's still a number of good entrances that we could find.
Cat asking if book is needed. Good question. We have no idea.
Yep, awaits further review. Alright, what is in this Skullwoods entrance? Just a fortune teller. Unfortunate. Did Iceman do Zora? Yes. Zora had the Desert Palace small key, which led it to the Moon Pearl.
And that reminds us that with that fire rod, Hitman can finish Desert if he so chooses.
True. Also means that we can finish Ice Palace, though without the big key, and it's a green pendant anyway.
I don't think we're in any rush to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, Agena, there's a new check.
I think we did see this on Iceman's side.
Oh, did we? I mean, I would have been surprised if we hadn't, just because of the region Hitman's in, but... Skullwood's map. So that's going to tell Hitman his last piece of pendant information, and then he'll have full knowledge.
Yeah. And Iceman finding Eastern Palace, I believe this was at Bumper Cave Lower, and is going to do this right away. So we'll have 4 items from this journey, including the, I believe, 4th Turtle Rock small key that we know about.
Yeah. Still no big.
And we've also found both rods, so getting a little bit closer to having Trinex.
Hitman's getting warmer on that hook shot.
Yep, Hitman will make his way there eventually, and then be able to check out left side Ganon's tower.
Well, what do we need? Bo, Samaria, Eastern big, and Meyer big in the second CT small? Have we even found Meyer?
I don't believe we have yet.
We haven't found Hera either.
Yep, we'll also logically need the Hera big, but both runners have hookshot already, so that's not a huge concern. Well, Hitman's about to find hookshot.
Interesting, though, that he is doing all this work for a non-green pendant here, and 1 item.
Yeah, this is one of those other ones where it's like, you either commit to beating Mothula right away, or you try to wait until very late in the game. At this point, Hitman also knows that 2 Skullwood Smalls have been found. The 3rd one has to be out there still somewhere, so it's not in logic to beat Mothula yet, but you're only 1 small key away from making it in logic. And it really doesn't take that much time. Oh, Misery Mire has been found. It is at the Bush House, according to Furious Magic. Shoutouts to Furious Magic for tracking, by the way. This is a very challenging mode to track, especially solo.
Yeah. We very much appreciate all the work they're putting in. And we've got junk out of the back of Skullwoods. Unless there's something on Ped, that is not needed. Oh, and here's Iceman's foray into Thieves' Town, so he'll get his hammer in full clear.
Yep, absolutely no hesitation.
Hitman finds Spiral Cave. Not surprisingly, doesn't want to follow that one-way connector quite yet.
Yeah, Spiral Cave can kind of be annoying for that reason. You really want that item, but you don't want to get lost somewhere you don't want to be.
He is so close to that hook shot.
Yeah,
Here
he's
we go.
Gonna find it here. So now, is he gonna go into Ganon's Tower, or is he gonna go through Spiral Cave?
Yeah, we have the entire left side of GT and Logic.
Mm-hmm. Hitman doesn't know that the Swamp Palace entrance is Ganon's Tower yet, but fortunately is going to head this way anyway. Ganon's Tower map chest absolutely could have something. We have even found 4 Palace of Darkness small keys to put that in logic. I'm trying to remember if that was the lamp-locked one. Might have been the lamp-locked one. So maybe we still technically need lamp, though we've technically needed lamp for a long time. But I'm curious what this big key is going to be for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're going to go all the way around to Ice Armos and open the big chest, too.
Mm-hmm. Ice Palace.
Well, you were excited about Green Pendant Ice Palace and bummed that the runners would be missing out on the big chest if they did it.
I was excited about Ice Palace as soon as that Bombos medallion was found, to be fair. I didn't think it was a good thing to do until recently, but I was excited for it.
Oh, another Meyer Small.
Yeah, Misery Mire small keys are mostly cosmetic, but they do carry some subtle logical implications about whether or not you might need the chests on the left side of Misery Mire.
And Jack correctly called 20 rupees in GT map chest.
Good job, Dapper. Alright, Iceman picks up that Ether Medallion. Both runners have a complete medallion collection.
There's our bow. Wow, nice. I believe that's logically behind 3 GT Smalls.
I think that's right. And that also puts Swamp Palace in logic. Because the Swamp Palace small key was found on the Bowlock side of Palace of Darkness.
It also means that once Hitman gets his pod big... Oh, there's Meyer big. That's a nice find. And that is logically behind all 4 Smalls. But yeah, once Hitman gets his pod big, he can finish off pod. Meanwhile, Iceman will need to come here into GT, which he probably will now that he has the hammer and he has all those keys.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a lot of items.
Yeah, definitely a lot of value for Iceman in going GT next. Question in chat, do you climb now? That's an interesting one.
Yeah, just as a reminder, Pyramid is useless fairy, so we'd be climbing for 4 items and that's it.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, if it was me, even though the Ganon's Tower climb is fully in logic, there are other high-density places, such as Ice Palace. You could also beat Desert Palace. That are also in logic. So I might be tempted to try to check out some of those places first before doing the GT climb. But ultimately, I am not averse to doing the GT climb, given that we've had all of the small keys for a long time. But that is just my opinion, and I am not playing this game. We'll see what the runners decide to do.
Also, bem-vindos to our raiders from SpeedGaming Português. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ice Armos had the goods.
Ice Armos. Pulling out there. So yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that I was talking about. Now we have Bow, we have Logical Eastern Palace completion, we have Canis Amaria with implications of things in Turtle Rock. There's a lot of other things that we can do that are not the climb at this point.
I think for no mode, we just have to find the second CT small and Hera location, right?
Yep, we don't need the TR big. So, yeah, I think you're right.
Of course, each of the runners have to put together more of the puzzle than that.
So Iceman, in the meantime, in Skullwoods here, going to get most of these checks. We'll see if Iceman decides to go back into Skullwoods after finding a Fire Rod in the hammer-locked chest in hammer-locked house of Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, Hitman took just a little bit too long lighting those torches, unfortunately. At least he has half magic.
Only down to 3 hearts right now. And I don't believe Hitman got a potion from the shop earlier.
No, he didn't grab a second bottle to put it in. He passed up the one on Zora Wedge.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Alright, a bit of an unfortunate death. And Hitman is going to go in. So because of taking that death, Hitman is going to be able to fill up on magic again, at least.
Meanwhile, Iceman's getting his half magic and Fire Rod.
Alright, will Iceman go back for Skullwoods to see if it has the goods? No! So, a bit of a time save there. Iceman heading right for Ganon's Tower. Hitman gets by the Gibdos. We'll see what's in Compass Room.
I was a bit surprised Hitman didn't want to, spend a little bit to ignite the Gibdos. There's our other glove.
Right.
Interesting.
So that'll be mitts for Iceman. The glove that Hitman is missing is from Hookshot Cave, which he can do now that he recently has acquired the Hookshot.
Yes, he knows where it is. He knows there are 3 items there. Was that also where Pod Big Key was?
Yes. Alright, so let's see what Hitman is doing now. This actually might be a Hookshot Cave check from Hitman.
Which will be good for him if it is. I was just thinking, we still haven't found Meyer access.
Haven't we?
Have we?
Oh! Meyer area access.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, right. We know where the entrance to Meyer the dungeon is, but we have not found a connector to that overworld area, nor have we found the flute.
That is true. So it's possible that we could need the flute in order to get that connector. Hitman does go straight to 4 Hookshot Cave, and this is going to be a pretty nice find for him. He'll get the mitts and probably have a lot of questions, a lot of decisions to make after this.
And there's his pod big, so he can finish pod. He hasn't found Eastern yet. But once he finds it, he can finish it.
Eastern was at not Super Bunny, Bumper Cave entrance, the lower one.
Yeah, because it's behind a glove, which Hitman didn't have any gloves until a couple minutes ago.
Alright, gonna beat Desert Palace while in the area. I like this play. At this point, there are just so many crystal dungeons that you know you can beat. Eastern Desert, Swamp Palace. You can finish Palace of Darkness even though you can't get all the items quite yet. Misery, Mire. Decent chance that that remaining Castle Tower small key is going to be at one of them. And nope, the runners are not in entrance mode yet because they need to find that Castle Tower small key, given that Ganon is at Lumberjack.
Because this game has to be rude about something. Blink and you miss at Landmos. Also pretty clean Ice Armos for Iceman. Ooh, Mushroom on Landmos.
Iceman ices the Ice Armos.
Too bad he didn't ice them with the Ice Rod.
You could!
That is true. I've seen people do it with the Fire Rod. I'm assuming Ice Rod does the same damage.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Iceman doesn't want to mess with the enemies in this room, just wants to clear them all out of the way.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
Especially after seeing what Hitman did. Not that Iceman saw what Hitman did, but, you know.
Yeah, it can be a pretty rough time.
And he's also not messing around with those Gibdos. Again, after Hitman's experience, it seems definitely like a better safe than sorry play.
Alright, Titan's Mitts for Iceman. Gonna pick up this small key.
Really? What are you doing with this small key? Opening the middle door?
Just for fun. Alright, but Iceman going to head out and not do the Ganon Tower climb yet.
Force of habit's a cruel mistress, right?
Very understandable.
Hitman was not tempted to fake powder magic bat.
Oh yeah, that's true. They could have done that.
And of course, the potion shop isn't too far away, so once we do catfish here, Hitman, I imagine we'll run over to the potion shop at Dark Chapel entrance and see what the mushroom got turned into. No! I guess given where Sank is, it's easy enough to use CAC Portal.
Ooh. All right. Well, we found the book on.
Spicy.
The book is basically a glorified fetch quest at this point from the blacksmiths. Hitman, in the meantime, going to beat Palace of Darkness. It does have that big key from Hookshot Cave.
I think overall I like Iceman's position better. He has a bit more knowledge than Hitman, and pretty much the same loadout, plus the book. Hitman, you have Samaria, you don't need to drag the statue.
Yeah, this one ultimately does come down to a Castle Tower small key hunt with the additional requirement of having to find Tower of Hera at some point. At this point, both runners have a myriad of high-density locations and crystal dungeons and entrances that they can check. So it's a pretty interesting part in the race. Lots of options, a wide variety of things that they can do, and we'll see which of the runners' routes ends up being the more optimal one.
Well, and here's Iceman's extra knowledge coming into play. Hitman still hasn't found Eastern, so this could benefit Iceman if there's something important here, though I'm at a bit of a loss for what it might be. I mean, maybe the flute and then Harris and Meyer area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Castle Tower small key number 2 is the big hot ticket item. Since at that point, then you are actually seemingly in entrance go mode. So if I were to find CT number 2, then I would actually rush entrances to try to find Hera first and make sure that you don't need the flute or any other item.
Of course, the game still wants us to have the lamp. Again, using that fire rod wasn't in logic for that room that Iceman just went through.
Nice Helmosaur fight on Hitman's side for Vanilla Heart Container. Maybe it wasn't the vanilla one. Maybe the Armos Knight's heart container made it into Helmosaur's room.
They have the red meringue. Those Armos Knights.
Yep. And the score is now even 2 crystals apiece.
No. Hitman has 3.
Oh, true. Hitman also beat Desert in the meantime.
Hitman using his extra key here to check Harmless Hellway, which is just a heart container. So a piece of heart, sorry, which happens to give an extra heart container in this case.
I believe that actually equalizes both runners on hearts.
Yeah, 1 full row.
Oftentimes a good eyeball test to see who's ahead in cross keys is how many heart containers do each of the runners have. In this case, it's pretty well even. But how many compasses do each of the runners have? Way more than they need.
I was going to say, I honestly have no idea. Is Hitman gonna finally find out what the witches brewed that mushroom into? And maybe on the way discover Eastern Palace? No, he's doing Smith Chain. So he will get that book. Or is he thinking? Is he doing Meyer? Oh, this is a Meyer play, okay.
Okay. Yeah, fully completable crystal dungeon. Don't have the lamp for the dark room, but that shouldn't be a problem for Hitman. And just a reminder, what is at stake in this game? So this is the first of the playoff series between You Got Poutine on My Cheesesteak and Aga's Backup Dancers. It'll be a best of 5 first to 3 series, and this will see who gets the first blood in a way. Incidentally, the second game of this series is also taking place right now between the 2 power players on each team. I believe that they are playing Map Compass Shuffle?
Sounds right. And yes, for those of you who aren't familiar with how we arrange playoffs in the league, before the season starts, every runner has to pick a pendant in case they get into the playoffs. If you pick the Courage pendant, you will be playing Casual Boots as your first playoff race. If you pick the Wisdom pendant, you will be here like these runners playing Pseudo Boots Cross Keys. And if you get the if you pick the Power pendant, you get to pick from a selection of 5 different modes. The higher seed gets to pick, the lower seed just has to deal.
Yeah, so there's a number of... While this isn't an elimination game for either team, this will help set the tone of the playoff series and potentially impact those important power matches and see if we can need a Game 4 and Game 5. So both runners here in Misery Mire at the same time. Tempered Sword, that is a worthwhile pickup from the cutscene chest.
Yeah, we've been on Master for like an hour now.
Yeah, we actually kind of do have Marvel versus DC, with Hitman playing as the Batman sprite, and Iceman being the name of a Marvel character.
Well, Meyer is certainly the place to be for equipment upgrades. We will now have a Tempered Silver's Ganon fight, where it was looking risky only a few minutes ago that we might have Master Sword Silverless.
Yeah, this also just made the Vitreous fight a lot easier.
That too. Map of Desert Palace, of course, we already know the crystal.
Iceman might be skipping the left side of Misery Mire, though.
Interesting. That's unusual in cross keys when you're not in go mode.
Mm-hmm. It isn't fully in logic yet. It would take the 3rd Misery Mire small key to be found to put it in logic. To put Tempered Sword in logic, at least, but... Yeah, gonna go right to the boss. We'll see if Iceman decides to go back into the dungeon.
Dark Mire. Hitman's through the hard room, but... okay, looks like Iceman's through the hard room too now.
Yeah, Iceman used the boots plus hookshot plus cane setup to get through that, which I really like. It's where as soon as you go into the dark room, you bonk, and then you hookshot to the left, you use the cane without pushing any directional buttons, and it'll just magically hit the switch, you won't get hit by a fire, and you'll be in.
Yay! And 11 arrows will be all it takes to, well, unless you start missing, but close enough. Down goes Vitreous.
Alright, so just upgrades from Misery Mire this seed.
That is, however, Crystal 4 for each of our runners here.
Alright, so Hitman checking out hammer pegs. We haven't seen the blacksmith turn in from Hitman, so he's not going to be able to pick up the purple chest here. Could certainly still do so afterward, though.
And where's Iceman off to now?
Alright, Iceman is not off to go back into Misery Mire. Probably not off to go back into Misery Mire for most of the rest of the game.
Well, I hope he finds another sword. No one really likes Master Sword Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people get actually thrown by Master Sword Silver's Ganon. So Hitman has no interest in no interest in Smith, no interest in going back to the potion shop to find out what the mushroom yielded. Of course, Iceman hasn't finished Desert to get his mushroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Did we ever see the dig spot?
Oh, I don't believe we did, actually. It could be the shovel spot. I do like this Spike Cave check from Hitman because this also gives potential access to some other entrances. I don't believe we've seen the Turtle Rock right entrance connector yet, and now we have.
Prophetic.
So maybe this will be Hera. We'll see. Yeah, given that at this point you know that you need to find Hera, and that's potentially the only entrance that you don't know about that remains in the game. I do like the idea of rushing entrances right now, and that way you can also potentially see if you need the flute.
Did the Waterfall Fairy just give us an empty bottle?
Yeah, that wasn't very nice of her.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
It's even more rude when the Waterfall Fairy gives you a B.
You just release the bee and then you have an empty bottle.
Yeah, but then you also have to release the B.
Meanwhile, here's Iceman doing Desert. Hitman going through the portal here. Maybe he'll go north this time and find Eastern. Iceman's about to take a crystal lead, though, in the meantime.
Yeah, Hitman seems to be looking for entrances at this point, so...
Of course, neither of our runners has gone back to Swamp yet. I don't think Iceman found the dam, did he?
No, I don't believe Iceman has found the dam. That was, pretty near where Hitman is currently. It's where you mirror from the top of Bumper Cave. And I don't remember which was the connector that got us there. Iceman has already gone through that connector, though.
Nice clean landmo fight in the meantime. And here is Eastern for Hitman.
Yep, so single dip, get all 6 checks. Whereas Iceman had to double dip it earlier.
So what haven't we seen yet entrance-wise? We're kind of running low on entrances. I feel like the flute's probably going to be in Swamp.
It could be in Turtle Rock still. We haven't seen either of any of the front 3 checks in Turtle Rock.
I don't think we've seen Crystal Roller either.
That's true, because we didn't have Canis and Mario when we found Laser Bridge. Could also be on the tablets. Might be what Iceman is about to check now.
Yeah, this should be an ether check up here. Definitely a way for Iceman to press his advantage if it is CT small, by some chance.
Both runners now at an even 11 hearts red mail. Oh no, Hitman's only on blue mail.
Hera big, so that actually puts Moldorm in logic if we find Hera.
We're gonna see the Turtle Rock entrance from Iceman.
Oh, right, we now have everything we need to open it.
Alright. We are not in no mode. We need to find the second Castle Tower small key and the Tower of Hera entrance. And we don't know yet if we need the flute. Yep, Ganon is at the Lumberjack drop.
But yeah, Iceman's going to show us one of our few remaining available unexplored entrances.
Oh.
There's the flute!
Suddenly, there are more available unexplored entrances. Available unexplored entrances intensifies.
For having a distinct item advantage now, we'll put the music back on Iceman. Ooh, Blind's Hut's up here too.
Did we see this already?
And it's just junk so far. Down go Armos Knights for Hitman's Red Meringue. So 5 crystals apiece. Okay, so chat asking about the modes. Every mode in every race in a playoff series is a different mode in League. So you will be seeing a lot of different modes if you watch League playoffs. But the runners know what mode they're playing beforehand. It's not like randomly chosen. And I guess Mushroom wasn't the answer.
Unfortunate. Why is there no item? Why is there no icon for Bugnet in the inventories? Yeah, I guess it's a little disrespectful to the Bugnet, but it doesn't actually unlock anything.
Yeah, in key sanity modes, you have to add a space for GT. And so you have to take something out to fit it on the tracker. If you watch on the League channels, the tracker we use there actually takes out shields and keeps the bug net, but SpeedGaming decided to keep shields and take out the bug net.
Alright, Hitman about to find this shovel from Hype Cave. We still haven't seen the shovel check on Iceman's side.
And also his red mail, as you were saying that he was only on blue mail.
Yeah, I forgot that's where red mail was. When I had a cross keys race recently, I took a little bit of flack for skipping red mail when I was on, I think, 4 hearts at the time. That shows about how much I consider red mail and cross keys. Particularly when you don't have the mirror.
And yes, as Chap points out, it probably would make more sense to drop shield than bug net from the tracker, since you can, see the characters carrying their shield. But an hour 45, the goose is loose, and we get, 5 more entrances here?
Yep, 3 in the Mire Shed area, 4 in the Mire Shed area, plus Checkerboard Cave, plus Desert Left and Back, so it's actually...
Oh, I forgot about Desert Left and Back, right.
And yeah, Bugnet is important in Swordless sometimes.
Here's a small key to ice.
Ooh.
Wait, Iceman, you might want to get Sick Kid's item. There we go. Just more money. We're now at almost 1,800 rupees.
That was very expensive medicine for Sick Kid. We could fill out all the bomb and arrow upgrades with the amount of money that we have.
Mire is Quake today. Of course, we've long since found all 3 medallions.
Here's Pyramid Fairy.
And looks like Hitman's gonna be finding his flute pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Iceman is about out of magic. There is a blue potion, just in case it's relevant. Also of note, it's been 147, and neither of these runners has gone into Ice Palace, despite Ice Palace being fully in logic and available very early on.
Hitman hasn't gone into Swamp, despite it being full clearable and having 10 items.
I do like the overall play of trying to find Tower of Hera first, and now that Iceman has done it.
Speaking of which, that is go mode for Iceman.
Yep, now that Iceman has done it, that's exactly why. Cause
oh, hang on,
it's go mode.
Iceman hasn't found Dam yet. He's in item go mode, but he still needs to check entrances until he gets Dam.
True. All right, so it's no mode. Ooh,
if
this could be an interesting race.
If Hitman follows the flute, he will be in go mode.
This could be a really interesting race, because Hitman is about to find that flute. So Iceman does know at this point not to look for any more items, knows that he can get to any entrance that he would possibly need access to. Just gotta find where that dam is.
And I cannot remember where the connector was that got us to Bumper Cave Ledge.
Same here, but I know it is available. Could be a little while before Iceman finds it, though. Yeah, is still going to check out these remaining entrances, because from Iceman's perspective, Damp could still be here. Alright, Hyrule Castle front, Furious Magic says, is the entrance of choice.
Oh, that direct. Hey, there's Spike Cave, okay. Interesting seed. Zora hard required, Flute hard required. And Hitman's gonna be in go mode in another minute or two, and the clock's gonna be ticking on Iceman.
Mm-hmm. Also, of relevance, Iceman hasn't found another sword yet. And that tempered sword is a pretty decent advantage in the Ganon fight. I think at this point, Iceman just has a lot of entrances left to check. This could be very close.
Yeah, I think I give Hitman the advantage here. Because he's gonna be in go mode so soon. And it's probably gonna be a while. Like, you're not thinking castle front at this point.
Right.
So, Meyer East was Hera?
Yep, Meyer East. The clock is ticking. Hitman still checking chests.
Oh, Iceman doing...
out there
Well,
somewhere.
Opening the pyramid might not be bad, because that will put him in the vicinity of Hyrule Castle if he mirrors.
That's true.
It's just going to take him a while, and in that amount of time, Hitman will be well into Swamp. Or maybe not well into Swamp, but, you know.
Well, into Swamp.
Anyway, here is Hitman's really, truly go mode at 152.25.
Yep, the race is on. Hitman not even checking that chest. Knows that he is in go mode.
Ice Rod Cave, and we'll never know what was in it.
And that's the good Ice Rod Cave.
Honestly, even if right now Iceman does that connector and finds Dam, I'd say Hitman's in the lead just because of Tempered versus Master.
Yeah, it would be hard for Iceman to come back at this point, and might take some errors on Hitman's part, but there's still a lot of race left. And Iceman at this point going to just do Agate Tower. This is also required, so no time loss with this routing, and it's actually pretty clever of Iceman's part to route the purple, or route the big red bomb in with this clear.
And because this, because Castle Tower location is vanilla, we'll be put right back on the pyramid and can get right back where we were.
And we never ended up finding that lamp. So many dark connectors early this seed too, from both runners.
Nice fire rod used by Iceman. And meanwhile, got a prediction going. Danny, how many blue balls do you think today?
I will say 4.
So slightly unkind.
Yeah. A bit of an unlucky number, but
I'm thinking a nice generous 1.
alright. So maybe we'll just have to average them out again, like our connections for digging game. Alright, Iceman through the dark rooms of Aga Tower with no problem.
Silvers are just a wee bit laggy. Meanwhile, Hitman in the back of Swamp already.
Alright, both runners getting to the bosses of their respective dungeons at about the same time.
Hitman with the Tempered Sword having a much easier time on Argus than Iceman will.
That is true.
There's our first blue ball. Okay,
Second.
clearly my optimism was unwarranted.
There's number 3.
Yeah, your 4 might be. To answer chat, the only stuff we never saw in GT was the 4 upstairs checks. Oh, I guess it's just gotta be the usual 3 from Aga today.
3's good. See, we did meet in the middle.
It's always 3, isn't it?
Alright, so Hitman entering Aga Tower. Let's see where Iceman's going. This is Hyrule Castle.
This is what Iceman needs, it's just gonna be too little too late. I'd say Hitman wins by 2-3 minutes. Assuming no Ganon falls for either runner.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, it'll be close. Iceman, you can't open up that chest.
Maybe now he's hoping for Tempered.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think Hitman skipped everything in Swamp Palace.
Yeah. Well, he has Tempered.
Yeah.
You really looking for Butter Sword at this point?
So maybe Iceman will find Tempered in the big chest of Swamp Palace or something. Pretty convenient flute away, especially when that flute was required. You're still gonna need that key, though, Iceman. Hitman, in the meantime, just a couple rooms left to go in Aga Tower. As Iceman is about to head to the main room of Swamp Palace, we'll see if Iceman does do a couple extra checks, hoping for Tempered. And we are not necessarily looking for anything. We are in go mode. Hitman has a sword advantage on Iceman.
And I don't blame Iceman for looking for tempered.
Mm-hmm. Fire shield. That's the
Yay. See,
right idea, wrong upgrade.
this is why we track shields. It gives our tracker something to do. Shoutouts again to Furious Magic for doing all the tracking for both runners here.
Yeah, and keeping track entrances when Drosy and I forgot to. Alright, that's a third Skullwood Small. Finally, Pendant Mothula is in logic. At long last.
I wonder if the final sword was on Ped.
I'm really curious where that lamp is, too.
Yeah, because that had to have been moderately early given all the dark rooms we went through.
Mm-hmm.
Probably an ice palace, right?
Yeah, we had the ability to go do stuff in Ice Palace pretty early on.
And here
Neither
we
runner
see.
did.
Here we see the difference between Master Sword Argus and Tempered Sword Argus, which is why the NMG run does Tempered Sword.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, Hitman's got a mirror here, go left and up, get his way to Lumberjack, and fight the pig. Honestly, very close in spite of everything. Like, Iceman's just going to be a little bit behind entering the Ganon fight, and of course the sword difference will increase that gap. But they sure kept it close.
Yeah, this was a very exciting race between two great players on two great teams. So if you aren't following these guys already yet, and you want to see some more A Link to the Past randomizer as played by people who have Mega Man sounding usernames, check out their streams. But as it stands, Hitman is getting the hits in on Ganon. It will take 12 with Tempered Sword on each phase. Hitman now in the second of 4 phases. Iceman about to enter the first. Because Iceman does not have Tempered Sword, Iceman is going to have to use spins in place of slashes, which still certainly doable, but a bit slower.
Yeah, 12 spins per phase. I mean, we're within a Ganon fall.
Absolutely.
And you never know. I have seen Ganon falls on 3 silvers in, though I sure wouldn't wish that on anyone. But it ain't over till Hitman crosses the bridge.
And Hitman does take Ganon down. So get your GGs in chat for Hitman. And with that, Hitman finishes first in this race with a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 38 seconds. Iceman not far behind, does have a blue potion for the rest of this fight.
With all the running around, it's impressive that the runners kept it to just barely over 2 hours. Especially with the required bunny walk.
Yeah, bunny walking for mirror was a very solid early play for both of them. Hitman had that mirror just a little bit earlier than Iceman did. Though both runners were able to find plenty of things in the meantime.
Yeah, a few things just added up in Hitman's favor, like if Iceman had done left side Meyer and checked Hyrule Castle connector just a little bit sooner. And you can see here, Master Sword Silvers is just not a combination a lot of runners practice. It can really throw you for a loop. But get your GGs in as Iceman does finish that fight. And he finishes with an official race time of 2:05:23, so a minute 45 apart. Definitely good showing.
That is extremely close for cross-key standards, especially.
Yeah, I mean, 2+ hour race and less than 2 minutes apart at the end. Let's see if we can get them in here to talk about it. And we are joined by Hitman with Iceman in the waiting room, so hopefully he'll be up here momentarily as well. But GG to our winner, Hitman.
Thank you, GG's.
So, what did you think about the seed?
Yeah, it came together pretty fast towards the end there.
Yeah, especially considering how long the Moon Pearl took at the beginning.
Yeah, and I'm still not exactly quite sure on the logic on the Moon Pearl.
I think you were supposed to bunny walk to the top of Paradox Cave where the Curiosity Shop is and get to Death Mountain that way to get your flippers off of Saha.
Yeah, they
didn't
get the Desert Key off of Zora. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we had Furious Magic figuring out on our side. That definitely helps. And we are joined by Iceman as well. GG, Iceman.
Thank you. That was a close one.
That was very close. Both of you found important progression items in a different order. Hitman was the first one to do the bunny walk to get the mirror and the sword that immediately followed. Iceman was the first to get a glove, and you did a little bit of extra bunny walking, so you had the information about the hookshot and about the Ganon's Tower location before Hitman did. Hitman was slightly earlier to the hammer, and there was all that good stuff in Ganon's Tower, including the second glove. But for Hitman, that was his first glove. He found the second glove in Hookshot Cave very shortly afterward.
And Iceman was the first to check TR entrance and thus get the flute and then Hera.
Yeah, so we had the interesting situation of Iceman's go mode being finding the dam entrance, and Hitman's go mode effectively being finding the second Castle Tower Small, which we knew was in Tower of Hera.
Yeah, there was a bit of a gamble on my part for that. Once I finished GT, I'm like, I have pretty much everything I need to finish the game. I'm just going to go mode dungeons. And then basically after Pod and Easter, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have the CT small key. Well, too bad. I'm not going back to some of those dungeons. I still need to find Hera. I still need to find the dam entrance. I'm going to hope it's behind one of those. I was in entrance mode at that point.
So was that your motivation for skipping the left side checks of Misery Mire?
Yeah, so while I was in Misery Mire, I was kind of like, I want a sword or silvers or something to make, or lamp, something to make things easier. Once I found silvers, I'm like, I'm pretty comfortable now. I'll just go. I kind of felt a little bit behind with some of the extra bunny walking I was doing. So I was just like trying to get out of the dungeon, go to entrances, and hope that what I needed was along the way.
Yeah, the extra bunny walking definitely had value in terms of the information that you were getting, which I think helped you wrap the game when you did find the Moon Pearl. Hitman was a little bit earlier to Moon Pearl than you were, but not by too much.
Yeah, and as soon as I found Moon Pearl, I'm like, what's the best way to get back to that hook shot? I want that hook shot. And so I just routed as efficiently as I thought I could get there, and then I'm like, well, if I go south from Village, I can loop around to Pod area, then I can hook shot across to Northern. So I thought it was a relatively efficient along the way.
Yeah, both of you effectively took that counterclockwise loop around the Dark World, but effectively started it at different points because you started it by finding the hookshot first.
Yeah, and for me, like I was avoiding dipping dungeons late in the game since I knew I was still looking for Hera and the castle's tower key, so I wanted to make sure that I could get to Hera because I didn't have the flute, obviously. And the last entrance that I had available that I checked did have the flute. So I was trying to just avoid, like, I wanted to go mode swamp if possible, which ultimately worked out well.
Yeah, I was surprised though because, statistically in terms of item dense locations, it would have been the most likely place for the flute to be, but fortunately
Yeah, I mean,
it worked
like,
out for you.
if it didn't come up like in that last the TR entrance, then yeah, my next play was to go through swamp.
Yeah, that Turtle Rock entrance and both gloves being required. Yeah, it was pretty exciting after both of you finished Ganon's Tower and all of a sudden had Bow, Cane of Samaria, like Ice Rod, Fire Rod, everything that you needed to beat a lot of dungeons. And once it got to that point, you were pretty much neck and neck and prioritized the dungeons in a slightly different order. It was exciting to watch.
Yeah, I was still hoping for that lamp just to make my a bit easier. I'm still not super comfortable with that dark room. Just glad I got it first try today.
Yeah, you did the setup for it.
Last time I tried that, I wasted 2 bottles of blue goo. So glad it worked out today.
Yeah. Hitman didn't find the lamp either. Any thoughts of where that might have been?
I was watching chat. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Ice Palace or something like that. None of us dipped that.
Yep, I also think it's Ice Palace. Neither of you also did the Cane of Samaria locked checks in Turtle Rock.
No, I did. Oh, sorry, Turtle
did you?
Rock. No, sorry. I did, yeah, all but the... Well, no, I technically did. I went backwards through TR. I didn't have the big key at the time, so
That's true.
technically the crystal roller chest was cane locked.
Yeah, that big key did turn up eventually. Don't remember exactly where.
Yeah, I can't remember where either, but it wasn't at a point when I was really thinking about it too much.
Yeah. So, with all those Ganon's Tower keys so early, were either of you tempted by the Ganon's Tower climb?
Once I found Bow, yes, because it was pretty early in GT, but then once I finished the basement of GT, I'm like, no way I'm climbing this. I'm doing
Yeah,
dungeons.
I had the same exact thoughts. Like, I was like, just pop Castle Tower small key go mode, so didn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, that's another one where it's just like, if you didn't find anything, then maybe you'd do it, but you found too much there.
I was even debating not even going right side. I'm like, no, well, I'm here. I should just do right side. Skip tile room, obviously, because that's a long check, but glad I went over to the right side. Pretty sure there was at least one thing needed there.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. So you finished this race, and your teammates in the power pendants are in the middle of their race, and now I haven't looked over to see how that is going.
race is still going, so
I mean, they're doing hard mode, right? So it may take a bit.
it's hard MC shuffle. It can vary, but like I just assume it's a basically regular seed overall.
Yeah, other than forced silverless Ganon.
And then other teammate is, I think, tomorrow. I don't think it's on the schedule yet, but they basically talked about it. So all 3 races in in 2 days.
Really loading up everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can plan our potential games 4 and 5 from there.
And any thoughts about which runners you might send to a game 4 or 5, or which modes you'd prefer?
I have no clue. I'll have to discuss with Pool Float, and it also depends on whether we need it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Although if Pool Float can win tonight, then for sure going to a game 4.
Yeah, I guess you'll have plenty of time to think about it after your teammates race tomorrow.
Yeah,
In
we're still
addition to
trying to
the one that's
hash
already
out
going
who's
on.
going to be our game 4 and 5 runners.
All right. Well, I think that's about all the questions for me. Any, Drosty, do you have any thoughts or any other outstanding thoughts about the seed?
Not that I can really think of. Good job, both of you, avoiding Ice Palace. Danny was
Yeah.
really hoping for it.
Yeah, I would have totally done Ice Palace a long time ago.
Yeah, that
Maybe even
I
before
don't know.
finding Hammer.
A couple. That Ice Palace has been weird for me the past couple days. On my race Friday with Pool Float, Randomizer screwed up my Ice Palace bomb jump, so spending 10 minutes in a dungeon that shouldn't have taken that long, I think makes me not want to go in there. And then when I was on the 216 podcast, I completely avoided that, and there was a needed item in there. So I was debating: do I go in hoping there's an item, or do I just continue to avoid it? Once I got all the items needed to complete it comfortably, I'm like, no, I've got too many other like crystal dungeons to do before I even touch that.
Yep, absolutely reasonable.
Well, I think that's gonna do it then. GG's again to both of you. Good luck going forward.
Yeah, GG's, and thank
Yep.
you, Drosty and Danny, for commentating, and Furious Magic, thank you for tracking us.
Yep. Thanks for the restream, was appreciated.
And yeah, of course, please do give both of our runners a follow. Thanks again to Furious Magic for tracking. Danny, I'm really glad we got to do this together.
Likewise, this was a lot of fun. And congrats to the runners, GG, good luck with the rest of the series and with the rest of Randomizer in general. And for the audience watching at home or wherever you are, stay tuned to SpeedGaming for even more playoff randomizer action.
Yeah, I think we are going to try to send you over to Speed Gaming 6 now, where a casual boots race between Crystal Roller Crew and the Longshots, Armalex and Timp, got underway about 20 minutes ago, so that should be a good one to check up on now. So, hope you can join us over there, and happy randoing.